The TVWan News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWan News. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, Gulf allows wants budget development grants, notorious criminal surrenders to police, and PNG's Academy Challenge to continue. The transformational PNG LNG project has brought in 26.3 billion kina in economic benefits to Papua New Guinea since the export of the first gas in 2014. Prime Minister James Marape made this announcement at the Hilton Hotel in Port Moresby while addressing a dinner commemorating the 10th anniversary of the PNG LNG project.
Marape has thanked the project developer ExxonMobil for having faith in PNG since 2008 when it started work on the project up to the export of the first gas in 2014 up until today. He also appreciated all joint venture partners including Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, Santos Limited, Zex Nippon Oil and Gas Exploration Company and Mineral Resources Development Company. Marape thanked all landowners for allowing the project to proceed and acknowledged leaders, including the late former Prime Minister Sir Michael Somare and the late Ella Governor Anderson Aguirre for their vision and foresight. The total value of economic benefits to the country since first production started 10 years ago is 26.3 billion kina. This includes 1.3 billion kina for landowner royalties, 1.26 billion kina in development levies, 2% equity for landowners, plus distribution to Mineral Resources Development Company of 1.9 billion kina, 9.6 billion kina to Kumul Petroleum Holdings for 16.5% equity, and total tax of 12 billion kina. 1,069 cargoes have been exported since 2014. Freddie Mo, TVWan News.
Meantime, Prime Minister Marape has urged PNG LNG project landowners from upstream petroleum development license areas to organize themselves to benefit from over 1 billion kina sitting idle in the trust account for several years. He said landowners' direct loyalty and equity entitlements from what was signed in the Umbrella Benefit Sharing Agreement in Kokopo and split by percentage at all, the landowners-based benefit sharing agreement needs the HAB to be released for their use. He clarified that this fund is now over 1 billion kina, which is sitting in accounts held by both governments and Mineral Resources Development Company at Bank South Pacific and Central Bank. The landowners of the Papua LNG project in Gulf Province are demanding answers from the government on the recent speculations of the budget development grants paid to the Enga provincial government. Chairman of Maple Holdings, Dominic Evere, condemned the transaction and called for an investigation into treasury of the development funds.
A media conference held today in Port Moresby, the landowners of Gulf condemned the government for disbursing development grants to Enga provincial government, the funds allocated to the Gulf provincial government. Maple Holdings Limited chairman and landowners spokesperson Dominic Evere says for so long Gulf has been neglected by governments and the recent allegations of transfer of development funds is a slap in the face for Gulf people. He said Gulf province has been with the Pango-led government and for the Prime Minister and Treasurer Yingling Staki to authorize such a transaction is not good.
We are surprised and shocked as to why our business development grant is written Business Development Grant Papua LNG to Enga Provincial Government. Is Papua LNG in Enga Province? Is Papua LNG in Southern Highlands? Is Papua LNG in Hela? No.
Everett Feda warned that if the government doesn't stop the payment, the people of Gulf will proceed and stop the Papua LNG project. He reiterated that it was agreed that before the development forum commences, development grants must be paid to the landowners. However, this did not eventuate as the grants were alleged to be paid to the Enga provincial government.
In no uncertain terms, Prime Minister and Treasurer Abraham to return into some money he can buy local people. Yes. And number one demand from MIPLA.
Gulf Governor Chris Iveta, in a media statement released last night, directed lawyers to stop the payment of 60 million kina to the Enga provincial government. In his statement, Governor Iveta stated that by ministerial direction dated 7 July 2024, the Minister for Treasury, Honorable Yingling Staki, issued directions authorizing the Secretary of the Department of Treasury to pay 60 million kina in development grants to Enga provincial government under the July 2024 warrant. Out of the 60 million, 20 million kina is a budget development grant appropriated to Gulf provincial government under the recent Appropriation Act passed by Parliament. Secretary for Mepo Holdings Limited Arila Aro, in support of Governor Iveta, says the people are fed up with such treatment and threatened to sue the government if such malpractices continue.
We need to stop it. The nation needs to rise and stop this nonsense. Yes. We're not just fighting for us. This is a bad practice. And they continue to do that, and we continue to just sit back and watch these corrupt practices to happen.
However, Treasurer Yingling Staki, in a statement, responded to Governor Iveta's claims and has assured that any concerns he may have had are now being dealt with. Staki says no business development grants or infrastructure development grants from other provinces or districts are being used to support the reopening of Pogra. Freddie Mo, TVWan News.
Meantime, chairlady of Hila Women's Association, Rachel Havoko, supported the call by provincial leaders and urged the government to do the right thing before calamity comes to this country. She said Gulf has contributed to the development of this country and also must be compensated fairly.
Papua New Guinea government no got one per time look savelo or Merikere na Gulf province as whole. No got through. All get resources from Mipla. DY to fish to oil and gas to Gulf Oil Trust. To now gas is coming out. Where is it going to go? By me plus South and me what in black plus sun up here. One in time by me Merikere ma rouse in this black leplet. Do I have to walk miles out? No got road here. Walk from Purari River all the way where I come from. Just how many? A whole day down to the beach to buy a 10 kina, 1 kg rice, 1 kilo rice. Is that development for 1975 coming up now?
You are watching TVWan News. After the break, notorious criminal surrenders and MRA staff rewarded.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy paid units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo and milk taste and added nutrients, Milo and milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. I'm PNG made.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunium Yumi.
More clean, more sweet. Flame natural white sugar. Make more.
Welcome back. Madang police are making headway into their surrender program as another person of interest, namely Josiah Abiraka Kariport of the notorious Department of Civil Aviation or DCA compound, blocked surrender today. With much persuasion from the community and family members, Josiah decided it was time to throw in the towel after being on the run. Josiah was linked to the robbery and willful murder of an Asian man and the store known as Wangs within Madang town. After a failed attempt by police 2 weeks ago to capture him, led family members and the community to bring Josiah for fear that he would end up getting killed if left on the run. Community member of DCA Daniel Wyron stressed that living a thug's life was hard, and today the community is glad that Josiah has surrendered.
Mi biget by mi o kama blow when no one bla good santi lo biget. You know na si one bla good santi lo biget passing. And good passing now by looking. And those all good road by looking na prosper or life for you by looking change. That's the only process pa. You me all get a come up in good sit down na one bell. Community am got big plan na straight to them. Now Joshua am go and law. Okay. You know, me don't stop nothing. All get the time, me blame, me talking him. You must go.
Wyron stated that for far too long, DCA has always had a bad reputation and standing in Madang due to the high crime rate and criminal activities within the area. He added that youths today are now trying their best to ensure that DCA becomes a safe community and encourages such criminals as Josiah to reform and others to refrain from committing crime.
Me ask him, if the community am open, you can come inside, make him awareness. Me ready to work on you.
Provincial Police Commander, Acting Superintendent Robert Bime, commended family members and the community for bringing Josiah forward and assured them that he would not be harmed as the law would take its course. PPC Bime states that this is a good sign that the surrender program is gaining momentum as it signifies decreasing major crime rates. He encourages other POIs to follow and surrender. Bime informed the family members that the court is the only...
Pastan, this is a leading in town long. Or name hold up, na kind or something, se come pass. But no kind of young flowers, just now you come forward, and you come surrender ourselves. And one plabelli sister and young master. So now, by looking at time where you need to change in Solomon town. Alright, I mean, no time where you Bagarabin town, but the time where you know that, where you contribute. Law and order, employee Mogata.
Institution that will determine if Josiah is guilty or not. His surrender can have a good impact on court's decision. Josiah has become the number 8 POI that has surrendered willingly to police after the major Kisimbek Medeng Hangu Panu operation ceased at the beginning of this year. Others that have been processed are now awaiting court bail. 18 Mineral Resources Authority staff who served 15 years with the organization have been rewarded. The rewards are residential land allotments with dimensions ranging from 450 to 500 square meters. The MRA in 2022 purchased 49 allotments under the MRA National Staff Homes Ownership Scheme. Out of the 49 titles for 18 allotments were presented to staff recently. 4 allotments will be used to build institutional houses, while the rest will be given to staff over the years based on years of service and performance. MRA aims to attract and retain competent staff through housing and other policies. Australia is working in partnership with the Motu Koita Assembly, United Church and the NCD Provincial Health Authority to bring the Metoreya Health Centre to life. The new health centre is testament to what can be achieved through community participation. Built by the community, for the community, it will serve around 40,000 people, increasing access to health services and improving health outcomes, especially for women and children.
The Government of Australia and its partners, the Motu Koita Assembly, the United Church, the NCD Provincial Health Authority, the National Department of Health, and NCDC are working to ensure Metoreya Health Centre has the resources it needs to serve the community in the years to come. Earlier this year, the partners officially broke ground at the Metoreya Health Centre site in Hanwabara village in the nation's capital. At the graduation of 21 trainees who participated in the construction of the health facility, Australian High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea, John Feeks, said building quality infrastructure is essential for the country's long-term development.
And the health centre has been designed to suit the local environment and meet the community's long-term needs. This includes the clever use of solar power, rainwater harvesting and maximising natural light and wind to reduce ongoing costs.
Since the launching, partners and the community have been seeing the new health facility come to life. Once completed, it aims to support more resilient communities and improve access to much-needed health services. Dr. Stephen Yenny, CEO of NCDPHA, is pleased that this project has allowed for locals in the vicinity to put their construction skills to practice, with possibilities of recruitment into the NCDPHA team in 2025.
I know some of you will be called upon through our recruitment process to join our facility management team. I must put on record that in our restructure for next year, which will be advertising, we've included a lot of the trade positions to be considered as well for next year.
The new health centre is testament to what can be achieved through community participation. Deputy Health Secretary Ken Wai said the health facility, once opened, will ease the burden of the Port Moresby General Hospital.
Standards and consideration, so I'm pleased to say that Metoreya Health Centre is a level 3 health facility, an urban clinic, with some of the level 4 functions that will meet our National Health Service standards within this area, and especially for Port Moresby City.
The Metoreya Health Centre will serve around 40,000 people, increasing access to health services and improving health outcomes, especially for women and children.
What we are doing now with these young men and women graduating and all the collaboration and partnerships, including this very place here, Metoria Health Center. It's a testament, it's a foundation, it's what will bring our relationship between Australia and PNG together, get stronger, more robust. In the future, I'm confident that it will be greater.
The new Australia-funded health facility will serve as an example of quality healthcare infrastructure for Port Moresby. Salome Vincent, TVWan News.
21 young women and men were recently recognized with a Level 1 trade qualification through Australia's inaugural Trade Qualification Pilot Program. A graduation ceremony was organized for this first lot of trainees at the Metoria Health Center in Hanwabada, in the nation's capital, on Thursday, 18 July 2024.
The first trainees of Australia's inaugural Trade Qualification Pilot Program were recently recognized at their graduation ceremony held at the Metoria Health Center in Hanwabada Village in the National Capital District. Australian High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea John Feeks joined NCD Governor Poes Parkop and Motukoita Assembly Chair and NCD Deputy Governor Daddy Toka Jr. in congratulating the new graduates on earning their trade qualifications.
I also want to acknowledge and congratulate all of today's graduates, and I'm delighted to be joining such a wonderful group of young men and women. The first construction trainees to graduate from the Trade Qualification Pilot Program, and today we're recognising your Level 1 qualifications in construction. I spent 4 years as a builder's labourer, so I have some idea of the skills that you've learned, and you're playing a vital role in developing your skills in building as we deliver this crucial piece of health infrastructure behind me.
The graduates, more than half of whom are women, learned their trades through first-hand on-the-job experience, with the construction of Level 3 Metoria Health Center as the proud fruits of their labor. They have earned their Level 1 trade qualifications. This exciting new initiative aims to strengthen local workforce participation and build core carpentry and plumbing trade skills.
We often talk about opportunities in this city, you know, from my administration, and then we look at what you know, how far we've come as the Indigenous landowners of the city, and possibly where our possible future is, and we always use a line, well, something along the lines of being left behind, and that's not just in health. You know, if you look at history, when Australia first, I'm trying to think of a better word than colonized, but I think I can use it in this context. You know, a lot of opportunities were given to the Motukoita people.
In time, Australia is working in partnership with the Motukoita Assembly, the United Church and the NCD Provincial Health Authority to bring the Metoria Health Center to life, at the same time provide equitable training and employment opportunities during its construction. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
And now the finance news. The Kina closed unchanged at $0.2590 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our Kina was buying 2615 US dollars, 0.3724 Australian dollars, 0.2231 euro and 39.28 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold and crude oil closed higher, coffee, cocoa and copper closed lower, and copra and palm oil closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, ASX closed lower, and all ordinaries closed lower as well. This is TV1 News. We'll bring you news making headlines overseas when we come back. Stay with us.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSB Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase easy pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Open Nets.
Beauty is my business, but beauty sure is a tough game. Filters are great, but great skin, better. And that's why my skin deserves the best. So I choose self-care, soaps that gently nourish my skin, resulting in a radiant look, made with tropical ingredients. I trust self-care from City Pharmacy, so bring it on! My skin is ready and so am I.
These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing, bum bum.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaro, get up and big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, da mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Welcome back. China and the Philippines have reached a deal. They hope it will end confrontations at the most fiercely disputed shoal in South China Sea, says the Philippines government. The Philippines occupies second Thomas Shoal, but China also claims it, and increasingly hostile clashes at sea have sparked fears of larger conflicts that could involve the United States. The crucial deal was reached on Sunday after a series of meetings between the Philippines and Chinese diplomats at Manila. The Prime Minister has stated that issues from Friday's major tech clash will persist over the next week. A failed software update from cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike triggered that outage, affecting more than 8 million computers, accompanied to Microsoft. Reporter Stephen Fesser provides more details.
This is the IT Nerve Centre for ABC Melbourne, and they've already set up bollards at the moment for an expected rush of people coming through to try and get their computers fixed. They've got the triage desk here already waiting, and they're expecting about 100 people here just in Melbourne alone to come through after that awful outage that we saw on Friday afternoon, where some 8.5 million computers around the world all of a sudden were taken out of action. Now that was all caused by that security update failure by major cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike. And we've heard from Claire O'Neill, the Home Affairs Minister and Cybersecurity Minister, and she says that there are definitely going to be some teething problems over the next couple of weeks as IT departments like this, after working around the clock over the weekend, continue their hard work to get people back online. She says that people should exercise a little bit of patience because there were so many areas that were taken out of action, including retailers, banks, transport companies, airlines and even media companies like the ABC here. And she says that there is a software patch that is available. That's on the government's Australian Securities Directorate website, or Signals Directorate website, I should say. So their link is available there. And also, just a little bit earlier, we heard from consumer law expert Jeannie Patterson. Now, she says those many businesses that have suffered losses into the millions of dollars globally, they might find it pretty hard to get compensation, and that's because this is all governed by contract law.
And contract doesn't guarantee a perfect service. Unfortunately, outages happen, and generally there'll be exclusion clauses in the contract that say there's no liability for outages. What's happened here is unprecedented in terms of its scale, but any of us who've had software as a service know sometimes it goes down and the contract will say no liability.
Now, here at the ABC, we've been told by our IT department that if your computer or your laptop was actually switched off at the time of this massive security glitch, then you should be okay. So at least for one, my laptop is working okay. There has to be some good value for starting work so early on a Friday morning, but it's definitely going to be a very busy time for IT departments like this one all around the country as they work to get thousands and thousands of computers and laptops back online.
Just 4 weeks before the party's national convention, where he was said to be confirmed as its candidate, Mr. Biden has urged Democrats to back Vice President Kamala Harris instead. In endorsing Harris as his replacement, Biden described making her his vice president as the best decision. It is unclear whether other senior Democrats might challenge Ms. Harris for the party's nomination. She is widely seen as the first pick for many party officials, but the party could choose open the field for nominations. Local councils and the oppositions are urging the state to urgently enhance their responses to the 3-killing polyphagous short pole borer. They argue that federal funding is insufficient and that additional state funding is crucial to save tree canopies and crops, as well as plan for recovery.
Grand old Moreton Bay fig trees like this one in the Supreme Court Gardens are under attack from the tiny beetle. The Liberal leader and election candidates currently in local government raising the alarm.
And there's been a huge delay. DPIRD haven't moved quickly enough to get the limbs off.
The Department of Primary Industries and Regional Development is leading a $41 million national response to stop shothole borers breaking out of the Perth quarantine zone, with 3,000 trees already infected and mulched.
This epidemic could see the face of Perth change forever. It is an agricultural disaster in the waiting. The Cook Labor government should have gone hard and should have gone early, but they have failed.
This is a biosecurity emergency. It is the equivalent of COVID for trees. And to this point, the state government have dealt with it like it's a cold.
The government says it's been fighting the borer since 2021, but warned hasty action could spread the borer faster.
Once it is in a tree, it is relatively stable while it has a food source. So I'm advised one of the worst things you can do is actually go in and start chopping down all of the trees at once.
Councils say they can't wait.
We have 60 to 70 trees earmarked for removal that are still sitting there months later.
Local councils are already funding additional work themselves, and they want more support to replace trees lost to shothole borers, especially when a tree like this is valued at an estimated $750,000. They're pushing for a recovery plan and funding.
This is so widespread, it is hard to measure.
The government says it's still in the middle of the emergency and recovery will come later.
As governments grapples with the housing crisis, tens of thousands of homes across New South Wales sit empty. Many of these ghost homes occupy prime real estate, but incenting owners to rent them out is proving to be challenging.
In a city crying out for more homes, these stand vacant. A Vaucluse mansion gathering cobwebs, an abandoned 5-dock home opposite a metro station. The latest data reveals more than 43,000 homes in the state are inactive. Almost 24,000 are in Greater Sydney. The suburbs with the most, Millers Point with 355, Haymarket with 345 and Mascot with 327. Real estate insiders say there are many reasons landlords choose not to rent their properties.
It can be the case that the property is too expensive to bring up to the requisite standard. Others may choose to simply land bank. Others have difficulty in getting the necessary improvements through council.
This waterfront Doles Point home is vacant because the owner had a falling out with his builder.
Last time it was lived in was about 2014. They started their renovation, disputes occurred. Now with weather damage, ceilings have fallen in, lift shafts have been rusted out, cables falling about. A perfectly brand new kitchen has completely rusted out and it's unlivable.
We tracked down the owners of a handful of empty Sydney homes to ask them why they're not being rented out. Some were mortgage-free or required repairs. Others were awaiting development consent. Holiday homes are also restricting the rental market. On this street in Sandringham, residents say at least half the homes are not lived in full-time. The New South Wales Government is considering a vacancy tax as part of a review of short-term rentals.
There is a strong case for a vacancy tax because we use our housing stock in a very inefficient way.
Now, taxing people with vacant properties, it might look politically attractive in the short term, but it's most certainly not going to solve the problem.
Victoria already has a vacancy tax for inner Melbourne homes. It will roll out statewide from 2025.
Thanks for watching. Next in sports, Hunters thumbed and corporate volleyball grand final set.
Enjoy life when we work together, making happy memories that last forever. Karen, Coke, Young, or roller scale, rice family meal with toast. We'll bring out the smiles, cause it's a favorite by miles. Senisi, gola, scale, rice, low scale, scale price. Senisi, gola, scale, rice, low scale, scale price. But you like him? Brush to the beat with Colgate for healthy teeth. Brush twice a day for 2 minutes, that's all you need. Brush to the Colgate beat. Come on now everybody, join in on the fun for long-lasting healthy teeth. 2 minutes of brushing twice a day, bright smiles, bright futures with Colgate. Brush to the Colgate beat. Come on now everybody, join in on the fun for long-lasting healthy teeth.
Back in '69, Frank Hutchison started a journey when he met Bill King, who ran a remote travel business. King needed four-wheel drive parts so strong, so reliable, they'd make the return trip after enduring the rigours of the Aussie outback. This forged Terrain Tamer's beginnings. Over 50 years later, Frank and his team continue to innovate and create parts strong enough to survive the toughest terrains on the planet. And best of all, the customer is still king. Terrain Tamer, parts that will get you home.
Hi, I'm Chef Jules Hennell, and this is where my true inspiration for cooking started. Like most of us, I learned to cook from my mum. Nothing beats simple recipes where fresh local produce is at the heart, especially when it's a home-cooked meal, prepared and shared with the ones you love. And in PNG, no meal is complete without rice. And my choice is always True Guy. True Guy, true inspiration through generations.
At the PNG LNG project, we are proud of our long-standing partnership with the Kumuls, as they represent the hopes and aspirations of so many Papua New Guineans. Rugby league is more than just a sport. It promotes our shared values of leadership, teamwork, respect, personal integrity, and excellence. Lessons learnt on the pitch carry on throughout life and go beyond serving ourselves.
Thanks for staying with us. The SP PNG Hunters lost terribly to the Sunshine Coast Falcons in a humiliating 66-8 scoreline on Sunday, 21st July at the Sunshine Coast Stadium of round 19 of the Host Plus Cup competition. The Hunters, after recording a few good wins recently, looked determined to win against an equally strong Falcons. The Sunshine Coast Falcons and PNG were both sitting on 22 points on the Host Plus Cup points ladder in 6th and 7th place respectively. They were separated only by points differential, and a win was crucial for both sides heading into the final 5 weeks of the regular season. And it was the Falcons who flexed their muscle, running in 12 tries to 2. The loss means the Hunters remain in 7th spot as they head into bye this weekend. There are now 5 rounds remaining before finals kicks off, with the competition hitting the road next week for Country Week. The NRL Bid National Schools, the Lay NRL Bid Academy team pulled off an unlikely comeback to defeat the POM NCD Academy team in the PNG NRL Bid National Schools Rugby League Championship Grand Final at the National Sports Institute in Goroka. Prime Minister James Marape was present to congratulate Lay, and others participated and hope to see the school's championship continue next year and onwards. The PNG NRL Bid National Schools Rugby League Championship brought a lot of excitement from 6 NRL Bid Academy teams from the 4 regions in the country congregated in Goroka over the weekend. These young talents, both boys and girls, put in awesome performances for their respective teams, but there's only going to be one winner. In the men's under-19 division, Lay defeated POM NCD 26 points to 14 to register themselves as the inaugural NRL Bid National Schools Rugby League champions. While in the women's under-19 grand final, the POM NCD Academy beat Goroka Academy to win the title. Prime Minister James Marape, who was present at the event, congratulated the winning teams and participating teams as well, and hopes to see the program continue.
Listen to the eventual winner of the boys under-19, the team from Lay, Wapa Country, Asa Sumba, congratulations, Liblogara. And Orlando Mosby from the big city, you came up, but one has to win, one has to come short. At the end of the day, all of you won, Rugby League won, good sportsmanship won. I was totally impressed. When boys and girls, after the final whistle is blown, you all came together in good spirit, hugged, prayed, laughed, cheered, and congratulate each other. What a wonderful reflection of how sports can change and shape character for the better. I am totally impressed. Makes me want to invest more in sports and in education. Congratulations to all.
Prime Minister has been pushing for a PNG team in the Australia's National Rugby League competition at the political level, so this program would do great for the national team should the bid be successful. This PNG NRL Bid National Schools Rugby League Championship allows the PNG NRL Bid to gauge the talent for its academy team, which will be put into the PNG Hunter system and possibly PNG NRL team pathways should the bid be successful. The PNG NRL program has been praised. It will only get better as the championship continues. Papua New Guinea is part of the 11 Oceania teams hoping to qualify for the FIFA World Cup 2026 in Canada, Mexico and the United States. The path is now clear for OFC teams after last week's preliminary draw at the FIFA HQ in Murich, which has determined the makeup of Group A and Group B. Coaches from the OFC member associations have been quick to react, with Group A having 4 very evenly matched teams on paper. For PNG, it's exciting news, and coach Warren Moon thinks all teams would see it as a challenge and an opportunity. PNG underperformed at the last month's OFC Nations Cup, but Moon is positive they can lift their performance this time around. A chance for New Caledonia, who withdrew from the OFC Nations Cup following a civil unrest, but is optimistic they will be competitive in this challenge. Fiji, PNG and New Caledonia are strong teams, and recent results have shown that they can take the challenge lightly. The corporate volleyball competition in Port Moresby concluded its semi-final matches yesterday and will proceed to the grand final this weekend. The final two teams in bowl, plate and cup categories will give their best to claim the title they have been playing for over the past months. Taurama Aquatic Centre volleyball courts came to life when the corporate volleyball teams squared up in the semi-final clashes to book their sports in the finals showdown. The semi-final matches lived up to the expectations. In the bowl grand final, Pacific Palm 1 will play PNG Ports for women and New Sky Pacific meets Education for men. In the plate category, Hilton hopes to make a whitewash with both of its team making the finals cut. In the women's, Hilton meets a tough Credit Corporation outfit, and in the men's, DGCL PNG should put up a strong fight against Hilton, and it's a match not to miss out. The main draw cards of the competition are the cup finals. In the women's division, Kina Bank plays a fancy Pomjan outfit who has been in fine form throughout the competition. The Pomjan team delivered a stunning 3-0 set against Parliament House to book the final spot. However, the Kina Bank are favourites in this contest. In the men's division, Credit Corporation will play NCDC. The NCDC has been the early favourites to take the cup finals. They lived up to the expectations. The three-time Port Moresby Corporate Volleyball Competition champions, NCDC have shown so much in attack, and they could bring even more in the match that matters the most. The grand final is scheduled on July 28th at Taurama Aquatic Centre. The 2024 Paris Olympic Games is 4 days away. The opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympic Games will be unique, and for the first time in the history of the Olympic Summer Games, the opening on 26 July will not take place in a stadium. Paris 2024 is breaking new grounds by bringing sports into the city and will unfold along the Seine River, France's longest and historic waterway. The parade of athletes will be held on the Seine with boats for each national delegations. These boats will be equipped with cameras to allow television and online viewers to see the athletes up close. That's it for sports, and now the weather forecast. Southern, Port Moresby partly cloudy. Alotau mostly cloudy with few afternoon showers. Momase, Ley partly cloudy with brief afternoon showers. Wewak with possible few afternoon rain showers. New Guinea Islands, Cavian, partly cloudy with continuous rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Kokopo Rabaul mostly fine with chances of a brief afternoon showers and possible thunderstorms. And Highlands, Mount Hagen, Buns, Kundiawa and Goroka, partly cloudy with few afternoon showers. Ocean forecast, Coral Sea, seas moderate to rough with southeast winds of 15 to 20 knots, rising to 25 knots at times. And Bismarck Sea, seas rather rough to very rough with southeast winds of 20 to 30 knots, increasing to 40 knots at times along warning area. Coastal waters forecast, waters of Finsafen through Vitia Strait to Siasi Long Islands, seas 1.5 to 2.5 meters, rising to 3 to 3.5 meters at times along gale warning areas. And waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 1.5 to 2 meters, rising to 3 meters over the southern coastal islands of Manus. And that wraps up the news tonight. Pleasant viewing and bye for now.
The TVWan News. News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.